Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you are new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live around 4 p.m. Central Time, or outside of my live stream, you can consider joining the Discord I created. There's a link for that down in the description below. Also, in the description below, there's a link to a Pinterest board. That is a great place for you guys to get some ideas of the meals that we've been eating on our plant-based diet. Today is day 767 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. I've used a combination of a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, and extended water fasting to lose over 230 pounds so far. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I love hearing those as well. Today is weigh-in Wednesday, and I'll go over my weigh-in a little bit here. If you're struggling on your diet, what's causing your struggles? If you're succeeding with your diet, what are you doing to succeed? Let us know. But at the end of the day, what are some things that you are doing that is making staying on your diet easier than the alternative? So yeah, I hope everybody had a great day here. A few people checking in. Rick says, good afternoon, John. Better be crowing today. Yes, I had an incredible weigh-in. I'm so excited about it. Christy and Rochelle, Pretty Girl's mom, Tennis and Yoga Girl Queen. Hello, everyone. I hope you had a great evening. So I also hope that you had a chance to go and check out my video. Is there an issue with the audio? Somebody's saying to turn up the sound, but I don't know. I can turn it up a little bit here. I don't know. Maybe I hit something to screw it up, but I turned up the sound a little bit there. I hope that helps. So yes, I had my weigh-in today. My weight was 291.6 going into the weigh-in. I hopped on the scale and I was 286.2. That means I had like a 4.4 pound weight loss. I'm sorry, 5.4 pound weight loss today. And I feel amazing. I'm so happy that I saw a huge drop today. It's been a little bit nerve-wracking the last few weeks, being on my diet and not seeing the number go the way I want it to go, because I've been so dedicated to staying on the salt, oil, sugar free and keeping it whole food, plant-based like always. So it's really nice to have kind of that whoosh of weight loss go off of me. I have kind of, over the past few months or the past couple years of doing this, I hope to see another loss next week, but I will be happy if I just stay around 286.2 and keep kind of going at the trend that I have been going at so far. I'm getting closer and closer. And Queen here says, congratulations on getting past the plateau. Yeah. I really feel like I've blown away that 300-pound plateau that I felt like I was sitting on top of all of the second year. And now I'm really seeing some results. And then even that plateau that I had in the past few weeks, getting that and kind of blowing it away. And so, let's see here. Christy said you had a non-scale victory here. You donated a bunch of pants that were too big. And then the bonus is you have more room in your closet. That's awesome. That's a great feeling to be able to get rid of some of that stuff. I have a big pile of things that I have to decide what I want to do with, if I'm going to give it away or just throw it away. Pretty Girl's mom here says, even a big loss every 2 or 3 weeks will get you there. Yeah, it will, as long as I don't have big gains in between those 2 or 3 weeks there. But yeah, I'm happy with how things are going and the rate they're going. One of the things I had kind of talked a little bit about in the last couple of days, or thought of a little bit about in the last little while, is the, to do over, like to restart, to go back in time to before I started this challenge. I had a different mindset about things. I had a different mentality about things. And I knew at the time I needed to commit to doing something for longer than I had ever committed to doing something before. So that's why I gave myself this 3-year challenge, right? I put it in front of me to do it for 3 years, because I knew that that was far longer than I would ever, than I had ever stuck to anything in the past. And to do over again, I'm not as concerned about that 3-year deadline as I was when I started, because I believe that as long as I continue to eat this way, that eventually I'm going to get to my healthy weight. If it doesn't happen within 3 years, it'll happen within 4 years. If it doesn't happen within 4 years, it'll happen within 5. But eventually, I'm going to reach a healthy weight. So, I am happy that I'm getting closer, though. So far. Let's see. I don't know if I took any real great photos here from the food the last 24 hours, but let me see what I can pull up here. It's been a busy couple of days. So I did take a couple photos from dinner last night. We had a new recipe that we had never had before. This was called stewed chickpeas. This is way behind, but this is the bowl. When I filled it up, there's actually a bunch of brown rice on the bottom of this bowl, and then the stewed chickpeas are on top. So I mixed everything up together, and it was, like I said, it was a new recipe that we had not had before, and I really enjoyed it. It had just a little bit of a different flavor than what we kind of generally eat. There was a lot of tomato in it, and that flavor came through really strong in it. And then the other part of it was that there was actual like whole dates in it to sweeten it, that you would every now and then you get like a little piece of date that was interesting, but it was very sweet because of that. And I really enjoyed that dinner last night. My computer is not updating the photo here, so I pull this off then. So what did I do? So I keep hitting the wrong button and I pull that one up. So yeah, that stewed chickpeas, what we had for dinner last night. Breakfast this morning, I had our normal oatmeal, the savory oatmeal with the mushrooms, onions, and spinach in it. And then I've been really busy today. I had an interview I'm going to talk a little bit about here. So I cooked up a bunch of potatoes. I have not eaten them all. In fact, I got one of them sitting in a bowl right here that I'm partway through. I just had a really, really busy day here, and my computer keeps telling me that there's something wrong with the stream. So, oh, you know what? I got to turn this off. That should help with stream here. If anybody's having issues with it, please let me know. So, why was I so busy today? Well, I today had a conversation with Chef AJ again. I always enjoy talking to Chef AJ. She is a really great advocate for this way of eating, and she has a summit that I believe is in February. It's called the Truth About Weight Loss Summit, and she asked me to do an interview for the summit. And so I did an interview with her today, sharing my weight loss experience so far. And I shared a little bit of information about calorie density and just kind of answered some questions. And it was really a awesome experience to get to talk to her again, share kind of my knowledge, and hopefully influence people to kind of try this way of eating. That's really uh, the great thing about something like that Truth About Weight Loss Summit is that it is getting that message out there about eating a plant-based diet, and eating healthier and being a healthier person overall. So I ended up talking with her, and it went a little bit longer than I expected, actually, but I'm hoping that it comes out okay in the end. There was a couple times where I kind of got froze up or got uh, uh, wasn't sure what to say because I lost my place in my notes, kind of thing. But I think that it'll play pretty well overall. And well, like I said, I'm just excited to spread the message about this way of eating and this diet. This computer is really this screen right now is really got me messed up because it's not. What is going on here? Sorry, guys. My computer's cut my head off and I don't like it. So that's better. Anyways, um, you're fine. Yes. Let's see. Queen here says you bought some golden beets to roast. Anyone know if you can eat the greens of the beets? I don't know anything about beets. So if anybody knows about cooking beets or roasting beets, or can you eat the greens of the beets? I'm not even sure. I don't know anything about cooking them. So hopefully somebody can chime in and answer. But yeah, it was just awesome getting to talk about the let's see. Rick says they will taste like dirt. Rochelle says, yes, you can eat the greens. Pretty Girl's mom says, yes, they are delicious. They may be like turnip greens. Okay. Yeah. So we're getting different things there, but, I don't have any experience with cooking beets. I don't know if we've had beets in our diet at all. I feel like maybe there was one thing, but, yeah, anyways, Rick says he tried using them in a smoothie. It was not good. So maybe not in a smoothie, but roasted, it might be different. I'm not sure. So, gosh, I don't know. It's just been a wild day. I'm still kind of amazed by the weight loss that I had. I wasn't completely surprised because I do weigh in every day, and so I had an idea that I was going to be focused. There we go. That I knew I was going to lose a couple pounds, but getting on the scale today and being at 286.2 is awesome. And a big reason why it is getting so close to a milestone for me is that the 285 is one of those points for me that there's like the what is it, milestones for me, and it's a milestone for a different reason than most other people, because getting under 300 has really been a milestone that I put in front of myself for any diet that I've ever done as an adult. I can remember in high school, before I graduated, I wrestled in high school. So I was doing sports. I played football and I wrestled. And while I was wrestling, there was a weight limit as a heavyweight that I couldn't be heavier than 275 pounds and be a heavyweight. And I knew the end of the year was coming up, and or once the season ended, that my activity was going to be down. And I can remember in my head thinking, I can't ever let myself get over 300 pounds. And this is when I'm 18 years old. And by the time I graduated high school, I was over 300 pounds. in college. I showed up to play football. I was 325, 330 pounds um, within 2 months of my senior year. I had gained another 30 pounds or 20 or 30 pounds. So, I always was, I've kind of always been above 300 pounds since I graduated high school. And one of the things I wanted to do in college was I wanted to wrestle in college. In order to wrestle in college, I needed to be under 285 pounds. I never got anywhere near there. I never got under 300. I might have got down to like 310, but that's as low as I got back then. And so I always used that 300 as a milestone marker. I never want to be over 300 pounds. Fast forward 20 years and I'm over 500 pounds and well on my way to doubling. So 300 was always a milestone, but 285, that's also been a milestone just because of that experience, wanting to be at a weight like that I could have wrestled at in college. And in 2013, I did reach 285 pounds. I was taking a prescription of an appetite suppressant from a doctor, did it for about 9 months, had great success with weight loss, didn't learn how to eat or be healthy, but I lost weight. And I did get down to 285 pounds. So that was the only time since I turned 18 years old that I was 285 pounds. Like I said, it was maybe 9 years ago now. I said 7, but it's 9. We're in 2022 already. And for me to be 285 will really be the lowest I've ever been as an adult. And so that's so close. I'm 1.2 pounds away from that. And then the next milestone for me would be another 10 pounds down. 275 is, the high school wrestling weight. 250, there's milestones coming up. But for me, this next one, this 285, I think is going to be one of the biggest milestones for me because it'll mean I'm lighter than I've ever been as an adult. And that is wild because I sit here and realize that I'm lighter now than when I graduated high school. I'm lighter now than I was my entire time through college. I'm lighter now than when I met my wife. I'm lighter now than we had any of our kids. And so it's just crazy to be at a point where I'm lighter now than I've ever been before. And to not feel like I'm struggling to get there and struggling to stay there is the other thing. I talked a lot about sustainability when I talked to Chef AJ today, and that is really the key to this diet is the ability is a person's ability to sustain it. When you eat these restrictive diets that restrict the volume of food that you get to eat because you're trying to stay under some sort of calorie metric, then over time your body can't continue to maintain it. It's similar to not getting enough sleep at night. If you're eating half the volume that you're supposed to eat all day, it's like getting half as much sleep as you're supposed to get every night. And if you're supposed to get 8 hours of sleep a night and you're only getting 4 hours, you might not notice the difference after the first night. You might not notice the difference after the first week. But a month of chronically undersleeping or 2 months, it catches up and you start to run into some health issues. Diet's the same way. Volume of food is the same way. If you don't eat a high enough volume of food, your body is okay with it for a day. It might be okay with it for a week. You might even be able to pull it off for a month or two. But eventually your body's going to continue to fight you. It's going to find ways to get you to break your diet, to bring that volume back in, to get the calories different, and so yeah, so I talked a lot about sustainability and just being able to, I go to bed every night with a full stomach. That's not something that I did in that diet. That diet that I got the last time I was 285 pounds, I went to bed hungry every single day. I woke up, I ate the worst diet you could ever imagine. And outwardly, I had people coming up to me being like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? How you doing this?" And, you know, I would play it off like I was doing it. Oh yeah, I just eating less food. I'm not eating, you know, I'm hardly eating anything. You know, it's, you just got to eat less food, you know, is what I would tell people. But I wouldn't tell them is that the only way I'm able to eat less food is because I'm taking a prescription drug. I went and saw a doctor and I'm taking an appetite suppressant. um, and I thought I had it figured out, but the whole time I was starving. And as soon as I was unable to take that appetite suppressant anymore, the diet ended. It was another diet that was propped up by a gimmick. Queen here says, yep, a full stomach is the best part of this way of eating. I had, you know, I showed that bowl of stewed chickpeas that we had last night. I had 2 servings of that, I think. Yes. No, I had 1 serving, but it was so big. It was so much rice. I did only have 1 serving. I thought about having a second serving, but by the time I finished that bowl, I was like, oh my God, I'm full of rice and stuff. So I didn't, but many times I do have seconds at dinner. I have snacks. You know, I eat lots of fruits and veggies later in the day too, just to kind of have food, you know, one of the questions that I got asked is, you know, how do I avoid the foods that are in our house that are not salt, oil, sugar free, because our kids don't eat the same way we eat. So those foods are in the house. And the best answer I could give is that we have a thing hanging on our pantry door that has apples, bananas, and oranges on it. And so in order for me to go get that junk food, I have to walk by apples, bananas, and oranges to grab it. So I don't even get that far because I see the apples, bananas, oranges. I just grab one of those or a couple of those. I don't even look in the cupboard to see what we have for junk food. So that's kind of how I'm able to avoid the junk food that's in the house, is that I'm filling up on other foods that we have, and I'm making eating those foods easier. I'm making that decision easier because it's right there. I have to take a step less to eat an apple than I do to eat some sort of potato chips or something like that. Carrie's checking in saying, hello, Carrie. I hope everything's going okay. You're super late. I don't know what you've been doing. It's like, I think raising kids or something at home. But yeah, it's been really that interview was a great experience, and just getting to talk about this way of eating and just understanding that, Carrie says, "Oh, right, yeah." And getting to share my story. I hope that some people watch it and you know, give it a shot. You know, like that's the tough part about this diet, is just getting people to give it a chance. You know, that's something that I think that even Chef AJ's surprised that I gave it a chance. You know, like what caused me to give this a chance? So many people that give this diet a chance is because their doctor recommended it, because they have some sort of health thing going on. You know, I stumbled into this way of eating kind of back in, you know, I came into it backwards, or I came into it not a normal way. I didn't have any major health consequences that I was trying to avoid. You know, I got on it before those things could show up, but you know, I did have things that were starting to reveal themselves though. You know, the swelling in my legs, the sores that were developing, those are all things that are that I needed to do this to fix, and I'm glad that I did do it to fix it. So let's see. Rochelle says that you were a junk food vegetarian for, I'm not sure what MA meant, but yeah, you know, like it's tough to avoid the junk food, the temptations, you know, for years. Okay. Yeah. You know, and I can see, you know, it's that dopamine, you know, and you convince yourself you may be eating healthier than you could eat, but you're still not eating as healthy as you can eat. is what I think we have to realize. Like that's something that I've found with this diet is that I want to make the choices that are the best for me. I don't want to be making, those poor choices anymore, that got me in the position where I was 520 pounds. But it's tough to avoid, like we live in this world that is not natural. There's, like we are not surrounded by natural food like we used to be. We have an abundance. There's no scarcity. Everything is is around us in abundance. So, and so Rochelle says you changed your diet due to your high blood sugar. And so you cut out the junk food. Yeah, you found out you had high blood sugar. You started researching a way to help that. And so you cut the junk food out and kind of led you this way, and that's something where, like I said, I think a lot of people are trying to fix something medically. That's where they get inspired to do this. And I hope that I can inspire somebody to just give it a shot out of nowhere, like I did, because that's really, it's the, it's there's so many diets that I tried over the years that people, that I would try them for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and then they would fail. And I go back to my old way of eating, or there's gadgets I would buy, or there's, all these other things I would do to try to lose weight. And I give them a shot because somebody pitched it to me. Somebody sold the idea that this was going to help me lose weight. But this diet, this way of eating, there's nobody out there pitching it to me. There's and I don't know that there's a lot of examples of people out there that have, that are sharing their success or sharing their story like I am. I don't know of anybody that's kind of doing the same thing that I'm doing here with it. But if you're willing to give all these other diets a shot, if you're willing to be convinced to give these other diets a shot, then why not give eating a whole food plant-based diet a shot? Give it 2 weeks, give it 3 weeks. I'm sure that you will see benefits from eliminating processed foods from your diet. Right. Rochelle says that chips and salsa and bags of pretzels are vegan, but they're not healthy. There's all kinds of not healthy vegan foods out there. Just being vegan isn't going to be enough to help you lose weight. I mean, it's part of the conversation I had with her is how much I disdain salt now. Like I use the example. I said that if I had a bottle of salt-free ketchup in front of me and a bottle of sugar-free ketchup, I would eat or if I had ketchup that had sugar and ketchup that had salt, I would eat the ketchup with sugar and not the ketchup with salt at this point. But it's, but all of that stuff is, once you allow other people to process the food and package the food and advertise the food to you, then you lose the control over it, but you start to lose the health out of the food too, because the more they process the food, the more they're either pulling fiber out, the more they're grinding it up so your body absorbs more calories from it. They're reducing the space it takes up in your stomach. It leads to high calorie consumption, and it's almost impossible to beat it. It's impossible to allow those foods into your diet and to lose weight at the same time, because it's because of that calorie density. I mean, I just, the food we get to eat now is amazing. I get to eat real, whole, natural foods, and so it's and I feel like I'm going back to that ancestral way of eating. Like I know that it's, when people think of paleo and when they think of ancestry, they think of meat consumption. And I don't think that people consumed the amount of meat that we assume that they used to eat. And even if they did, the meat that they had access to was nothing like the meat that we have access to now. But I believe that if we were able to build a time machine and go back 20,000, go back 50,000, go back 80,000 years, you would see a race of people eating fruits and vegetables. You know, you may see animal products, but you're not going to see dairy. You're not going to see anybody with cheese in their diet 10,000 years ago. But the diet that they ate, I believe, would have been more plant-based than we assume, because we just think everybody was hunters and they just had to hunt for their food because there was no food anywhere. That's not the case. I think that, you know, we would have lived in climates. We wouldn't have gone up north as much because we wouldn't have had the tools and the ability to stay warm like we do now. And so we would have been closer to the equator. And that means we would have had food around us more all of the time. And, you know, the analogy I give to Carrie a lot about it is that if I was in a field, if I was in an orchard, and on the other side of the orchard was a deer or a cow or a sheep, I wouldn't walk past all of those apples that all I have to do is reach up and grab and eat to go chase that animal down to kill it. I would have eaten all of the food around me first. And then once all that food was gone, then I would have gone to the more difficult thing. But I'm not going to go after an animal that has horns and antlers when I could eat apples and bananas, and I could eat the greens and the berries and the foods that are easily obtainable. We would not, you know, it's part of that motivational triad. We are designed to conserve energy. So we wouldn't exert excess energy unless it was necessary. And if you're surrounded by plants and vegetation that you can eat, then it's not necessary to exert the extra energy. And so I don't think we would have. But so I really like that. I feel like I'm going back to more of a natural diet. You know, the food that we process, the processed food that we eat, we're the ones processing the food. We're the ones that are putting it in the blender. We're the ones that are doing the things that are processing the food, changing them from their natural, you know, to a new state. We're not relying on somebody else to do that. I am going to get out of here today. I plan on going live tomorrow. I got a few things yet to do. Like I said, it was a very busy day. The interview with Chef AJ went a little bit longer than I anticipated. We actually got started later than I anticipated too. So, I do need to get a couple things done here before I get out of here, but I appreciate all you guys coming on and supporting me. If you haven't had a chance to watch my weigh-in video from today, go check out my weigh-in video. Make sure you give that video a like, comment on that video. It'll help out my channel a ton to have the interactions with a video that I posted as opposed to the live stream. But also with this live stream, you know, I'd love it if you guys, you know, hit the like and the thumbs up and commented down below on the live stream as well here. But I am going to get out of here today. And if you have not hit the subscribe button down below, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't clicked on the bell icon to get alerted when I go live or post new videos, click on that bell icon. If you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your health and your overall well-being. Imagine how much weight you could lose between now and Christmas if you started now instead of waiting till after Christmas. You know, like you could have weight loss success going into Christmas. You can use that success to motivate you through the holiday season and into the next year. One of the things I talked about and was reaffirmed was that, you know, and just get started. You don't have to be perfect. when you start, but you just got to get started. It's so much more important to be perfect at the end of the diet than the beginning, but we get so wrapped up in being perfect at the beginning of the diet. And that's when it's the least important to be perfect. It's when you lost the weight. It's where I'm at now, 200 pounds down. It's far more important for me to be on my diet and be perfect on my diet today than it was a year and a half ago when I was 150 pounds heavier or 200 pounds heavier. Me being when you start, you don't have to be perfect. Just get started, get the junk food out of your cupboards, start eating whole natural foods that will fill your stomach, change that calorie density. You guys all have a great evening, and I will see you tomorrow.